Hey team!
Hello!
Rowan and Rob here,
Yes.
and I found a folder that just said Horseman, and it had been there for a really long time.
What did you do?
I decided to redesign the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Biblically, it would have been War and Conquest, and Famine and Death. I don't know when Conquest became Pestilence. Probably at Dante's Inferno.
I don't know.
Either way, I think it's better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I spent days on this map.
Despite protestations, you kept drawing.
Did? And
You
then I
said, told
continued.
you to take a break.
They don't need to know of my sins.
Nevertheless, she continued.
I'm gonna show you the sketches. So we start off with Death.
Looking good?
I knew I knew I wanted her to have a crown. I don't know what she wanted. A crown and a mask with 3 faces.
And a pale horse.
Yeah, and I thought about the pale horse having like a human skull on the head somehow.
Yeah.
So that was my thought for Death. And War, I definitely wanted War to not have a regular, and none of them are going to have regular horses, you'll see, but War was going to have a chair with like spider legs, robot spider legs was my thought.
Okay.
Because War is the only one that I think of as completely man-made.
Okay. Mechanism.
Yeah. And I wanted her to have a mask that is covering her eyes, and she's chained to the chair.
Alright.
It's all symbolism. And Famine.
Ooh, that was good.
Famine kind of doubles as, like, climate change in my mind.
Yeah.
So I wanted her very naturey. Also, they're all chicks. I decided they're all horse ladies.
Oh.
Horsewomen. And then Pestilence is really, it's just COVID. It's, it's plague.
That's a good skull face rat.
Thank you. Wait till you'll see it not sketchy, because it gets worse. They all get worse.
Yay!
So
Show me.
this is me figuring out the colors I want for each of them. I wanted all the colors to be kind of cohesive, because I did want them to wind up on a thing. You're going to see me drawing each of them piecemeal, because I was doing them kind of all at the same time.
Understood.
You also didn't get to see me do the line art. I didn't record that at all. Even without line art, this still wound up like over 6 hours of footage.
So you drew for over 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this isn't even all the coloring either.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot judge me throughout this entire video.
I mean, you can say I'm not supposed to, but I can.
You can, but like, you can talk about the art. I didn't
The
want
art
her...
looks really good.
Thank you. I didn't want her to look like the Joker. So I had to change the colors on Pestilence a little bit.
Yeah, it's something you have to be aware of when you're using the green and the purple.
Yeah, which is a shame because they're my favorite colors.
Yeah.
But one with the teal.
Damn you, DC. Ooh.
Yeah, a little bear.
Bear.
But I didn't want him to just be a bear. He had to be a horror.
Ah.
And,
So much is happening.
yeah. You got to see for a second Death with a moray eel. You'll see how that works later. Yeah, I wanted the shading to all make sense together so they could all potentially be in a piece together at the end.
Yeah.
So I had to think in terms of what is the darkest dark, what is the lightest light, and I wanted a glowing, like a yellow
So
on
much
them.
talent. Look at this.
Thank you. So here's a little glowing coming in. And it is, there are so many shapes. Also, the glowy doesn't work on white, like on pale.
Yeah.
Because it just winds up looking like, yellowed.
Yeah.
Which worked in some ways, but not in others. I futz with his fur so much.
It's very futzable, the fur.
Yeah, you'll see there's 2 different versions in the end. So, tongue is green. I did that twice, because the bear also winds up with a green tongue. I don't know what that was. Why is the tongue green?
There's a symbolism there.
There's not. There could be. I can make one up.
Leave a comment if you understand the symbolism of the green tongue.
Make something up. Make me sound real smart.
Well, that's what all art is, honey.
Yeah. It's all about interpretation. The butt of the bear is very eldritch. I don't know what I was thinking with it. And Famine looks kind of comfy to me, the outfit. It's very soft pants. She's got kind of hooves, though, for feet.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be part of nature. I thought about making her skin wood, and then I don't do that. But, I would wear this outfit.
You would ride that bear.
That sounded, yes, as a horse. Not in any other way. And I just, my logic was like, the ocean as well as, like, woods as well as whatever. I almost thought about doing something bird-related too, and then didn't. So the bear wound up the way the bear did.
Something as ancient as life itself.
That was my goal. I just didn't want him to look too goofy. And it would have been very easy to make this bear look extremely goofy.
Yeah.
I have any other thoughts?
I really like the pose.
Thank you.
I really like the mount, the bear. How it decays away into... Ooh.
Yeah. Now you see where the memorial is. Yeah. I needed to make sure that they all had...
I'm a pony and you may ride me. That was perfectly timed.
I needed to have them all have like some kind of a pose or a something so that it would be okay that they all had masks on because they weren't going to be able to show their expressions through their actual faces.
Yeah.
I fixed her hair later. Her hair was very stripy. And at first it was like, oh, that's kind of cool with how it shaved the tail, and then it was like, no, that's dumb looking.
It's a very lovely interpretation of death. It's cold but elegant.
Thank you. And I shade with both, like, a watercolory thing and also a little bit of blur. I try not to overdo it in either direction.
It looks really good.
Thank you. I stared at this thing for hours. Hours of my life. And the hair is still not fixed. It gets fixed. It does. And again with the purple and the green, yeah. I wanted to make sure that the eyeball on her mask is obviously a mask and not, like, an eye. She does not actually see through that. And I just...
It's the illusion of sight. Like, war is typically the illusion of something being done.
Yeah, and I spent forever on the swords. Babes. She has no shoes. She is stuck on the chair. On her throne. So it looks like she's in a position of power, and she is not. I had so many thoughts. And I don't know how many are conveyed. And
there's a lot happening.
Yeah. And the top of the chair is the mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was clever.
You're going to have to do that upholstery. Look at that fabric work. Look at that.
Thank you.
So good.
I did this one last. Like, finished this one up last. And it took so long.
Well, look at all that fabric work you did.
Thank you. And boob work.
Look at where you're zooming right now. Where you're really putting in the effort.
They were important to me.
I mean, they're important to everyone.
And again, the gold versus the white for the highlight.
Yeah.
So the final...
Nice.
Was not the final. I realized that, like I said, there's two of her. Because I kept looking at the fur and I was like, that's too much. So it lessens the gold on the fur.
Okay, yeah.
So that is my pestilence. And that is my famine.
Very nice.
Her whole torso looks so uncomfortable.
Very bisexual seating position.
Yeah. I just meant the skinny, but yeah. And war.
What's she good for?
I never want to draw swords ever again in my life.
I can see why you wanted to show me your swords, though, because those are gorgeous.
I called you over with it zoomed in, because look at my swords!
Everything you do is gorgeous.
Thank you. And then finally, there is death.
Lovely.
And the Moriel. I like that the tail of the Moriel is also the tail of the horse.
Yeah.
And that was a metaphor for something, I don't remember what it
Something
was.
frightening that runs through death no matter how brave you are.
I like that. We'll go with that. And here's me futzing with the background. I wound up just using, like, stamps for the background.
I remember you had told me...
That you were going to help.
That we were going to watch this, and then I was going to help you...
Well, I wound up just using stamps because otherwise I was going to spend more hours of my life and destroy my arm. And I wanted the easiest possible background.
Last night your hand was in such pain. And today I got home and I was just like, let me take a nap and then we'll do the video thing. And while I was napping, you went ahead and did the background. And honestly, it looks really good. And I don't know what my input would have added to this, but still, you told me that you were going to relax for 10 minutes and you couldn't
Actually,
do
I
it.
specifically said I can't promise that. I'm proud of this, and I would like to be
You
proud
should be
of
proud.
this.
You should be proud. You should be very proud of what you've done here.
Thank you.
It's gorgeous on every single... Like, you drew them all separately. They work really great together. The background really, like, pulls them. Like, that's an amazing picture right there.
Thank you.
They could individually be their own thing, but they do work together.
That was my goal. Because I wasn't, as much as I was doing them all at the same time, I wasn't really checking back and forth as much as I could have been.
Yeah.
To make sure they would work together.
It's a hard thing to do.
So, yeah.
It looks real good. They all have their own palettes, but they work as a unified piece.
Thank you.
I mean, these are all gorgeous. You spent hours on these, and I had mere seconds to react to them because you were trying to keep these secrets from me as you were doing them.
That's true.
So there's so much to like pick out and talk about that we didn't get to talk about in specifics.
That is true. And that chair is gonna be making such awful noises.
Mm-hmm.
Just terrible, terrible noises.
I love how they're all different body types.
I tried. And I'm very proud of myself. I like what I've done.
Yeah, you should be proud. This is really good.
Thank you.
Look how gorgeous all the like natural work with the skulls and such. All the fabric. I just worry. Because I love you. But if you say your hand doesn't hurt, then it all ended well. I can always give your hand a massage if it does hurt. You did a gorgeous job.
Thank you. There's details.
So many details.
Thank you.
If you would like the 4 Horsemen to be stickers, leave a comment below.
Yeah. Could we somehow use these in a Tuscan video? Any of
Possibly.
them? So, this is my 4 Horsemen. I did the thing.
Gorgeous piece.
Thank
You
you.
should be proud.
Thank you. Rock on.
Rock on.